Oh my god. Hey everyone, my name is Angie Lee, and today is another episode of Tech Tuesday, a series where I discuss techniques in usability research, user experience design, computer science, any type of development for beginners. So the first topic for this year, 2018, I want to talk about how you can get the most out of a quantitative usability study with fewer test participants. When I'm talking about quantitative, we are excluding any quantitative research or qualitative research that you may require as few as 5 test participants. That method, known as discount usability testing, is perfect for uncovering a lot of high-level challenges that a majority of users will face. It can often uncover, let's say, anywhere from 75 to 80% of the largest issues with the site design. Now, if you want to find other content, there's some specific techniques that require more test participants and therefore would require a quantitative, something that can be quantified with a degree of certainty. And in particular, I'm talking about information architecture and navigation, design and structure of the hierarchy. So in my experience, I've worked with projects that have as many as 50 to 1,000 test participants, but I've also been working more recently on projects where the client has put more development time, for instance, and development dollars versus being able to do the usability research. Or there have been many iterations of different types of usability research, and therefore allowing for a smaller budget for quantitative research. One of the quantitative research methods that I'd like to further describe, I've mentioned tree testing, I've mentioned card sorting. Each of these are going to help you restructure an IA and make an improved IA to make it easier for users to find your content in your site structure, especially if they were more likely to be browsing the content instead of searching with the menu there on the site. So what can you do if your client is only able to support 15 test participants, the bare minimum, and you're not able to do iterations of the test, you're not able to follow it up with click testing? Well, something that you can do right away that's cheap and a low-cost effort is to pay to run a pilot study or use the same test and run a pilot study, meaning that if you were to launch a test, I know Optimal Workshop cost about $100 per test. So let's say you can not afford to pay 15 test participants $25 for 2 tests. But what you can do is pay 15 test participants $25 for 1 round of testing. What you can do to make up for that lost number, that other half of 30, is to run a pilot study, and that can be internal with your coworkers. It could be anyone working on the project. It could be colleagues who haven't been exposed to this project. It can be the client themselves, and once you reach about 15, at least 15 rather, you'll be able to see if the questions make sense, if you're leading the user and biasing the tree test results, if the structure is performing as you expected in certain areas, so there aren't any bugs before going live. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that you can do. Now, in order to actually create the task for the test, to say, well, I want to test, I have a limited budget and I have a limited number of questions I can ask, I can be confident that the test participants will complete all of these 10 to 15 tasks. So you have to pare down the number of activities for the test before launch. And to identify those, you'll want to look at data analytics. You'll want to look at things like any previous interview survey data, usability research, and all of this is going to inform the questions. Now, so other approaches that you can do as a researcher are, one, you can do the label audit, and so you'll be able to measure some of the all of the labels in the hierarchy on some qualities that to have them be front-loaded, to have them be comprehensive and concise and specific and familiar. So those are the 5 qualities that you can judge the labels on, and that will give you a baseline. If you perform this and had one other person also perform this label audit, you'll be able to then see what you should focus on and then present that to the client before moving forward with defining the test. So once you've mapped out which labels need special attention or may cause some unique and difficulties when navigating through the site, you can map that against performance with data analytics. You can look at, are there high search numbers but low response on the site? So see what are the search terms that folks are using, and so that you can have an informed discussion about which labels will be best suited for the site. One little trick that I have up my sleeve that you need to take with a grain of salt is Google Trends. So you can look at the keywords and compare trends such as like eco-friendly or green. Especially if you use the term green, it's a color and obviously going to have more results based on Google Trends. I've tried to say this outro like 3 times and I don't know, I keep getting interrupted by my pup. Okay, let me try this again. He's gnawing on this bone and it's driving me nuts because I'm like soft-spoken and he is so loud right now. Let me try it. Hey, can you give me a second? So here's to the first Tech Tuesday, official Tech Tuesday of the year. This is a high-level overview of how to get the most out of your next quantitative study. If this is something that you don't anticipate needing right away, there are some free options. You can do a test with 3 free tasks on Optimal Workshop. I'm sure that there are trials that you can explore and other tech tools that may offer a free trial for a month or 2 weeks. But these are some of the things that you can use, especially if you're going to do a quantitative study that you use with SurveyMonkey even. Consider some of these tools and techniques before creating those questions and those tasks. So good luck to you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have in the comments below. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye!